Maggie to the rescue!
Hey everybody, Maggie's here with Josefina. You probably recognize her, the American Girl doll. Thank you, Maggie. You can have a seat. And I was super thrilled. I can't believe it, but I found her at Goodwill for $4.09. And I found her friend, Felicity, at the same time. But Felicity's legs are loose. Actually, her arms are too. So I'm going to have to do a restoration on her another time. But isn't Josefina so beautiful? I think she might be one of my favorite American Girl dolls. Look at her brown eyes. I just think she's lovely. And she even still has her earrings and her top. She's missing the rest of her outfit, but I'll look out for that on eBay. But today, instead of concentrating on getting her fully restored, I am going to concentrate on her hair. So the brush that American Girl recommends is their own brush, which is a wire brush. But honestly, I started to buy a brush at the American Girl doll store, but it looked really cheap to me. I don't know if the rest of you feel that way, but it looked like some of the bristles were already coming out. And so I was like, well, I have a wire cat brush at home, so I'll just use that. So one section of her hair, I'm going to use a wire brush. And one section of her hair, I'm going to use a plastic bristle brush. And this is shaped more like the American Girl doll brush. You know how the bristles are arranged. And then I'm going to do my typical technique of using a wide tooth comb. And then after I comb out with a wide tooth comb, I usually graduate to a little bit of a smaller tooth. So I just really wanted to do a comparison, and especially for American Girl doll hair, since they have wigs, they might need the wire brush, but I just wanted to make sure that that is the case, because I haven't had the greatest luck with a wire brush with other doll hair. So first I'm just going to take this out. Let's see what we're working with here. Ooh, her hair feels like straw. Okay, well, I'm up for a challenge, especially with doll hair. So let's see. And I will eventually put her hair back into her classic braid. Well, this is kind of lucky because, you know, it's naturally in 3 sections, so I'll just use these 3 sections to do the comparison. Look how long her hair is. That's wonderful. But you can already see that the ends are damaged. So before I get started on the hair demonstration, I'm just going to wipe her down with some baby wipes, including her hair. And the reason I want to do that is because I don't want her hair to be wet. And also, you know, it's not the greatest thing to wash American Girl doll hair. Look, some hair is already coming out. Because first they're wigs, so you want to avoid the top of their hair when you're washing. And also, you know, you can get their cloth body wet and their eyes, so you really just, you know, want to kind of avoid that if possible. It's not always possible. Oh, look how pretty that is. I love that. So I'm going to just continue to wipe her hair off. I'm just getting the thrift store off of her. Quite a bit of hair is coming out. I'm not even tugging at all. I'm actually just going over her hair superficially. So I'll show you her marking. It is Pleasant Company, but I believe she's a Mattel Pleasant Company doll. And I'm also going to wipe down her body, not the fabric part. You can see some staining. These were so nicely made. So let's take a look at her. Yeah, so there's some light staining here, but her limbs still work nicely. And see, she has some marks on her. Let me get her tag off. Let's see her bottom. Pretty good. And here's her tag, which will also help inform me when she was made. I'll let you know. If she has stains, I'm not going to work on those today. I'm just going to get her a little bit cleaned up. That came right off, so that's great. I'm just going to wipe down her face a little bit. Not too dirty. So I'm most curious about the metal brush, so I'm going to start with that on this section of hair. So I'm going to just start at the ends. See, that seems like it's really pulling to me, but it just might be something that I don't understand. It does seem to be going through. The texture's not that great. I'm going to try spritzing it with a little water and see what happens. Brushing first is also unusual for me because I like to wash. Oh, like, look how much is in here. Well, a lot of times when I comb doll hair, it comes out too, so we'll see. But I like to shampoo with dish soap first, and then I like to dip their hair in fabric softener and then condition. So this is unusual for me to brush hair first, although I know a lot of people do. Okay, I'm going to stay at the ends for a little bit. You know what? I'm going to keep the amount of hair that comes out with each method as well. I think I'm just going to try the next method in a short section. Okay, now I'm trying the brush in our center section. That seems to be going through a little bit easier. Doesn't sound as harsh. There's less hair here in the middle though, so that could be making a difference. I'm going to add a little spritz of water. Let's see how much hair has come out. It's harder to see. The black brush. Okay, I'm going to put this pile over here. Keep that separate. All right, I'm going to try the third section, just the ends with the comb. See, hair is coming out and it's knotted. I'm going to trim that knot. So that goes in the third section of hair coming out. The comb has been the least damaging in terms of pulling the hair, but I don't know that it's really smoothing. So let me graduate to the smaller tooth. So I do have hair that's come out, look. So I'm gonna put that here. So far it looks like wire brush had the most hair, and then maybe comb has second and brush has third. But I'm gonna see now if I can pull through the ends like I can here. This is going through pretty easily now. I'm gonna see if I can do that with the other sections. Back to the wire brush section. Yeah, fairly well. Let's look. Plastic brush. So far so good with all three. I'm going to keep going. So I made little indicators of which one, the plastic brush, the wire brush, and the comb, to help me remember. She looks a little crazy, but kind of wonderful too. Okay, let's do a little check-in. So one thing I noticed is it looks like where I use the brush, it's the waviest, like it kept the wave of the hair. Where I use the comb, there's a little wave, but I sort of pulled it out with the comb in the very front. And then where I used the wire brush, there's still some wave. It's still like pretty fuzzy though. Look at that at the ends. I got this a little smoother. So as far as feel goes, the wire one still feels a little rough. Like, why does it still make this sound? Is it supposed to? Okay. And then comb. See how it knots almost every time? If I don't start at the very, very ends almost every time, then it sort of knots all over again. But look at that, that's a nice wave. And then for the brush, good. So the plastic brush had the least amount of hair pulled out. The wire brush had the most, and then the comb had the second most amount, and it had knots. And now I'm going to braid her hair, and then I'm going to discuss what my conclusions are in the big reveal. Well, Maggie got a braid too. Josefina has a few flyaways, but overall her hair is obviously in much better shape. By the way, after my conclusion, keep watching for some cute before and after photos. So what I learned from this comparison is that the comb was the most gentle, but I found that as I pulled it through her hair, it could sometimes create knots. And the wire cat brush was hard to pull through her hair, and it created a rough texture, which could just be due to how closely together the bristles are. So surprisingly to me, the plastic brush worked the best, pulling out the least amount of hair and keeping waves intact. I think if I find a similar wire brush but higher quality than the American Girl brush, I'll get it and give it a try in the future. So let's take a look at her before. And here she is after. So I know lots of you have restored American Girl doll hair, so I'd love to know in the comments what has worked best for you. And if you haven't already, I hope you'll like and subscribe to Maggie to the Rescue. We have lots more restorations and show and tells and fashion shows to come. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.